Welcome back, Film Force fans. His name is Jordan Wiltshire. Rumour has it, he's the product of a genetic experiment between a kangaroo and a potato. All we know for sure is he loves all things geek, and today he is...
looking back at the film Jumper, which came out 10 years ago. Now, do you remember this film? It starred Hayden Christensen, or the guy who ruined Star Wars, according to some people. Now, this film, I remember watching it only once before, and that was when it came out. And I loved it, but I was also 10 years younger than I am now, okay? Which means my opinions were shit, okay? I loved the prequels. I now still like the prequels. They have a special place in my heart, but I know how bad they are. But with Jumper, I thought, oh, it's cool. It's this guy who gets to teleport everywhere. Oh my gosh, I watched it the other day. What film is this? Who decided it's a good idea to have the main character kidnap the love interest and they still fall in love? Seriously. No wonder it did bad at the box office. If you actually look at what the book that it's based on, it's a nice romantic story with him just having to meet this woman at a bar. They start going out. There's no Jumper involved. There's no stalkerish childhood friend like he was. There's nothing like that. They just fall in love and things happen, and he eventually has to reveal that he's a Jumper. And there's no like Jumper versus Paladin in the novel. But that's what I did like in the film. I like this universe they tried to create with these beings or jumpers as they're called. And I think it'd be great in some ways to see more in the Jumper universe, in the films, in the universe they created in film, but without Hayden Christensen. Now, that's my quick summary. Moving on more to the plot. So as I've said, the plot is creepy. A kid has a weird obsession with this girl who's already got a boyfriend. Sure, the boyfriend's a bit of a dick, but knowing from my limited experience with girls, the best thing not to do is stalk them as a young teenager. Okay, just that's my experience. Don't stalk people. I've never stalked anyone, but just so I can get out of that. But just saying, I don't think that's a good idea. And then, you give this girl a present. Oh, that's nice. The boyfriend then chucks it onto the lake. Okay, fair enough. That's a bit of a dick move. But just because you're trying to prove a point and you really care about it, don't walk onto a freaking frozen lake. That's just the most stupidest idea ever, okay? And I've done some stupid things in my life. Next, you then mysteriously manage to survive falling into a frozen lake. Okay, cool. Rethink your life choices then. I'm just saying. He then jumps to the girl's house. A bit stalkerish again. Leaves the globe on the swing, but doesn't tell her he's actually alive. Just suspects it. That's a bit of a dick move. Then you jump a bit, he then robs the bank. Sure, if you've got the powers, you're a teenager. You're going to do some stupid things. I admit that. And I think that's what's great about it. It explores that. And then jumps to 10 years later where he's grown into the most boring person on the planet, Hayden Christensen trying to act. The funny thing is, Hayden Christensen wasn't originally cast in the film. It was a guy called Tom Savage, who I have not seen in anything. But because the studio, being studios, said, oh, no one will go see a film not with a well-known actor as the lead role, okay? Even though you got Samuel Mother effing Jackson in the film, no one will go see the film if you don't have a well-known actor in the lead role. And what happened? Oh, they recast Tom Savage, who they said, oh, he's an 18-year-old. You're limiting yourself to kids. No adults will go see the film if it's an 18-year-old lead. Seriously? And then we'll recast him with a well-known actor who's starring in the biggest films, also the worst reviewed films, the Star Wars prequels, okay, who has the charismatic level of an ant. Okay, fair enough. I don't know how Tom Savage would have done. I can only, because I've not seen him in anything, he's not been in anything big since a big loss of losing this role. And then the fact with this, he then it just, the way this story plays, it doesn't work to Hayden Christensen's ability, in the sense that who decided it was a good idea for the character then to randomly just find that girl who he was madly in love with at school? Or what kind of girl suddenly sees a guy who she thought was dead, sort of knew he was alive, but couldn't exactly say, and then goes off to him for a trip in Italy? And then he breaks into the Colosseum. He then leaves her at the airport, and still they're madly in love. He then kidnaps her, takes her to an unknown desert in the middle of nowhere, and still they're madly in love. Okay, it is the worst writing, seriously, for a romantic film. And the fact that they decided to release this film on Valentine's Day to market a nice love story, a nice sort of sci-fi love story, and then he kidnaps her. That's not freaking romantic. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not. But okay, so the love story doesn't work in this film for me. Despite the fact that both Hayden Christensen and Alison, who played the main character, they got together in real life. But I don't think there was zero chemistry. I did not believe them as a couple. But moving on from the love story, that obviously has many flaws in this film. Jamie Bell's character, another jumper, is really interesting. And I wish he had been the main lead, because you're actually in some ways very sympathetic to that character. Hayden Christensen's character, you're meant to be sympathetic for because his mum left him, his dad was abusive. Okay, cool, I can be sympathetic. But then he kidnaps a freaking girl. I cannot be sympathetic to that. Just the choices he makes are not sympathetic. That's the thing. But Jamie Brown's character, he saw his parents murdered because of him. That's sympathetic. And you understand why he's now fighting this war. Why he believes the only way for it to end is him to kill them. You understand that. With Hayden Christensen, all he cares about is kidnapping the girl. But with Jamie Bell's character, you actually understand his traumas and his emotions and why he's fighting the Paladins. Why he's not just running or trying to live a life like Hayden Christensen. And in some ways, I would have much preferred that story than the one we got. Now, I love films that build a universe. Like John Wick, like Zootopia, like Coco with the Land of the Dead. I love, like Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. And Incredibles. Just some films build an incredible universe in just one film. And this had the potential. You had the Paladins. You had the Jumpies. But we didn't get to see enough of the history. In some ways, I'd have loved flashbacks. Imagine actual Paladins, knights in armour, fighting them during the fighting Jumpers during the Crusades. That would have been a great shot. Just flashbacks. Maybe even a montage at the beginning of Paladins through history fighting Jumpers. They could have even had a bit of fun with it. Having famous figures actually be Jumpers. Imagine if, I don't know, Spartacus was a jumper. If Julius Caesar was a jumper. If King Arthur was a jumper. If Robin Hood was a jumper. They could have a bit of fun with that and build this universe. Instead, we could see 3 jumpers, one who dies straight away, one who's Hayden Christensen, and one who's Jamie Bell, who actually is quite a complex character, I thought. And then we have the Paladins. We see Samuel L. Jackson, who is the main antagonist, and Samuel L. Jackson is great. Okay, he plays a great antagonist. But the rest of the Paladins, they're not built up enough. Okay? The reason they're killing the Jumpers is because the Jumpers no one should have that power but God. That is definitely an interesting storyline to explore. But I wish they'd done more than that, rather than leave most of the film to a rush plot of Hayden Christensen trying to get his girl by kidnapping her. So building on from that universe that they've tried to create, I would actually love to see this reboot building on that universe they could try to create, I'd love to see it rebooted. Maybe not completely based off the novels, because that didn't have the Jumpers versus Paladins, but I think that is an interesting idea. You know, the good versus evil, these people fighting through history. In some ways, I'd love a TV series, each episode set in a different time period, following a different jumper. That could be interesting. But just having that unique thing of having jumpers through time, I think that would be a great way to explore it. And the Paladins maybe starting. So, you know, you could do a prequel film. So I definitely think there's more to explore with the universe and with the film. But just please, don't go watch this film. Don't subject yourself to the punishment that I did. Okay? I was watching it like, wanted to drill a hole in my skull. I wanted to jump out of there. Okay? Because it was so bad. But I subjected myself through it for you guys. So, my verdict on Jumper is destroy it. Just destroy it. If you have a copy, smash it up. Okay? Throw it in an incinerator. Fling it into the ocean. Destroy it. Seriously. But let us actually, I think studios would be wise to maybe explore this again. Maybe try and redo it. Maybe do a TV series. I think it definitely has potential. But whatever you do, do not cast Hayden Christensen in it. Hey, I respect him. He got a lot of stick for Star Wars, and it probably wasn't all well deserved. Okay, but he was not the right choice for this role, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. These are all my opinions. You could totally disagree with me. So let me in the let me know in the comments below if you do disagree with me. Do you think it's a great film? Do you absolutely hate the film? Until next time, this has been your Real Resurrection. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, do hit that like button or head down to the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for the latest videos. May the Force be with you.